But yeah, here we are again at the harbour wall. There's the port side, starboard, looking towards Cape Town. To the left, and there's Table Mountain, Devil's Peak. And Mr. Van Hungst, the legend pipe smoker on Devil's Peak, is puffing away as a wisp of cloud. We call it the tablecloth. There it's, you can see it going right the way down to Cape Point on that side, in the mist, the blue mountains in the far distance, about 50 kilometers straight across the bay. But here we are at Bikini Beach, a really beautiful beach. It's almost like a private beach here, secret spot of Cape Town. Really legend hikes up there. Some nice caves to go and hide away in. I believe there's a cave up that side where you can spend a night. Of course, over there you can see Solari's Pass, which I believe was obviously built with the help of Italian prisoners of war. Solari's was the engineer, Solari. Looking across to Lawrenceford and Stellenbosch mountains there. Stellenbosch in the way in the background, that side there, over the top. That'll be Solari Village, and over there is Lawrenceford. The Navy base. And speaking of the Navy, think of Cape Town as a colonial power under the rule of the British many years back. Then you will remember that Simonstown over there was a spot where I believe there was a nuclear missile launch pad there. They kept nuclear missiles there, and I believe also over there back in the 80s South Africa was well prepared for full-scale war at one time. Happily that was not totally the thing that happened. Peaceful place is Gordon's Bay in Cape Town. Generally, people are very friendly, very hospitable. The sunshine helps. Of course, if you look out that way, you're looking at Winelands territory. Cape Town's famous for its red and white wines, even its sparkling wines. Over the top of that ridge over there would be the Franschhoek Mountains, famous for at one time being a resort where the French settlers came to establish their wine farms there. The Dutch eventually made, speaking of French, the French language illegal. Everyone had to speak Dutch. The French are no longer resident there. You just don't see many French people there at all. But I do believe the Virgin boss, Mr. Richard Branson, has got a big farm there, or a chateau you might call it. It's a wine farm. Might go there one day. I'm going to look at the Dalosses, South African invention. Along the wall here. Used in many harbours all around the world to shield us from the ravages of the Atlantic Ocean. Not looking terribly ravaging at the moment, but in the winter it does get pretty wild. And the surf I've seen on that point break there, where you see the waves breaking now, I've seen surf there up to 10, 12 foot, 2 or 3 meter high wave. The guys get slotted into it quite nicely. The water's not too cold either, which is really nice. Of course, the further you go up the west coast, the further you go up the east coast in South Africa, the warmer the water gets. But down there across the bay on the other side of Table Mountain in the Atlantic, the water gets down to about 5 degrees in summertime. Summertime this side would be about 20, 25 degrees. And there we have some young fishermen. A couple of lads having some fun on the quay. Of course, the public are allowed to fish here, but you would need a license. It's not expensive, anyone can afford it. And the rewards are there. It's worth giving it a go. Of course, you've got to be careful. There's been no red tide. On occasions, I've seen fish washed up inside the harbour. Large fish dead because of the red tide. And that, when there's a red tide at night time, you run along the beach, the sparks fly from the sand as you run along, because that's the phosphorus in the diatoms, or young creatures, little creatures that die or cause red tide. Perfect day, a bit breezy, really quite nice today. Must be about 30 degrees. Average temperature in summertime is about that, 25 to 30 degrees. On occasions it gets up to 40 degrees. Then you would rather be inside drinking a beer, or perhaps down there in the water. Looks like a postcard, doesn't it? It really is. Quite pretty. Beautiful houses. Some still in the sort of 1970s architecture. And then you get some wealthy people that move in and put their own style in. The nice thing with Cape Town area, it's not like some places where it's all blocks of flats and regimented and square and boring. Here, people's personalities and choice is expressed in how they build their houses. It makes Cape Town a pretty place wherever you go. The Winelands is amazing. You'll see the Cape Dutch style. Here, sort of the holiday hotel kind of structures. Although those ahead of us are not hotels, they're private residences. And that sort of Italian style villa over there is occupied by 2 people. They stay on their own. That great big anchor up there in white stone, that's the GB sign. People imagine that GB stands for Gordons Bay, but apparently it stands for General Botha. And this being a Navy-based town, you would imagine that's probably more appropriate to be named after, or to have his initials up there perhaps. Let's see. There's the Harbour Lights restaurant. Seafood is their speciality. Got some really nice meals there. The position is amazing. At sunset, looking out over the bay, you do get a beautiful perspective. It is an amazing spot. the Thirsty Oyster Bar. Hey, a few tourists. Look at that. Crowds are coming. 2 of them already. There's the entrance to the Navy base. And that, I believe, is a timeshare hotel, the Gordonia. Very Mediterranean. Climate is just amazing. Food is not expensive at restaurants. You're looking at about $10–15 for a decent meal, American dollars, not Zimbabwe dollars. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed our trip. Thanks for visiting. Come again.